Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Let's talk about Peter and Valentine for a minute. Here's the thing about Peter and Valentine's relationship. Valentine has been, like, from the time that I guess he gave him to Phazon, he's been trying everything that he can to, make up for that. He's always been like looking out for him, standing by his side, trying to do his best for him. So when Peter, when Valentine initially talks to Peter about, your house of cards is falling down, like, Franco's trying to remember stuff and Olbrich is just out in the loose, like, what's going on? So, Peter pretty much tells Valentine everything. From Andre Matic and Franco's assassination, or the attempted assassination, to Drew's plane going bye-bye in the sky. He tells him all that. And Valentine's like, listen, you might want to tell Maxie this stuff and kind of just throw yourself at the mercy of the court. But at this point, Peter is just like, he has too much to lose. And, part of the reason why he's been doing this is he's pretty much been trying to play catch-up, or trying to escape his past. And, he asks Valentine, hey, listen, could you hold me down? Could you keep my secret and stuff like that? And, you let me worry about Olbrich. I can handle her. Because, he handled her so well the last time he got captured by her, but sure, whatever. He was like, let me deal with Olbrich, you just keep my secret. And Valentine's like, listen, I'll do what I can to minimize whatever fallout is going to come upon your family, Anna and Maxine. And I thought it was a good scene, but it also just really illustrates. Listen, I like Peter. I think he is a very interesting character. But I also think that guy is kind of, I don't want to sit there and say a scumbag, because I've seen scumbags, and he's not a scumbag, but he's kind of a terrible person. He's done all this stuff, try to kill Andre, try to kill Franco, releasing Franco's medical records to try to discredit him, and now he's getting people, like, even at his own treatment, like, he was going for radiation therapy, and the technician was like, yo, I want no parts of him. So now he's having problems with that. He's practically has to sit there and be, keep his head on a swivel. All this to protect Peter and his happiness, because apparently his happiness comes at the expense of, well, everything else. So, yeah, I understand why some people are just like, yo, Peter gotta go. Peter gotta go. But I feel like he's one of those characters, unfortunately, and I hate saying this, but he kind of shakes up the story in the right way. If we had every character that was just, an up and up, it'd be kind of boring. Now was a different story, because now, I'll get to now in a minute. But Peter is kind of a good shake-up. But yeah, the guy, he needs to be brought to justice, or have Jason take care of him. Now Anna is not there questioning, Britt. Where's your mother at? Where's your mother at? And Britt was like, so that's what Finn was not there trying to do. He was just questioning me and running to you like, some little schoolboy or whatever. So Anna is questioning, trying to grow her. And Britt makes up an interesting point. Britt's like, so you're an SWB agent. Why don't you just ask the Bureau? Oh, wait a minute, they don't trust you. I wonder why. So she's pretty much kind of dismisses her. Anna wants to sit there and protect Peter, and I'm just like, do you understand the level of ish that Peter has done? and the people that he's killed. And yeah, we can all question Jason keeping him alive. Okay, that's cool, I guess. But you also kept him away from his family. You also killed his brother, and so on. But I wonder how she's gonna. I feel like Anna's the type of person that's gonna know exactly what Peter's done, and is still gonna be batting for him. And to some extent, yeah, he's family. I guess I understand that. I can't not as much as I can sit there and be like, yo, so you're just gonna let him get away with capital murder like multiple times? She's family, and she thinks of Peter as a son, so I can understand the conflict within that. At some point, she meets up with Finn, and she's like, I gotta sit there and find Ulbrich. I gotta go out to Ulbrich. And Finn's like, yo, listen, I'm going with you, because the last time you did this, you were going for like nearly a year. And of course, within that time, he was about to, at some point, maybe get back together with, I can't remember her name, Vala's mother. Man, I'm not gonna lie, the way they screwed her over was just so... and 2 times. Anyway, I can't remember her name. That's... Hayden, my goodness, I almost forgot her damn name. Barnes. So sad, I only remember that because of Marvel. But anyway, he's like, I'm going with you. You're not going by yourself. And Anna's like, listen, I don't got no time to be, like, arguing with you, so let's go. Also, Finn talked to, Franco. And Franco was like, listen, we can't come to the wedding because, Peter being an a-hole. So we can't come because we gotta, keep our head on the swivel and make sure that we're safe. And they're also upset at the fact that, the medical documents got leaked, and that's when Franco was like, yeah, it was Britt. And so when he does go to, it's kind of weird, I'm not gonna lie. When he does go towards Terry to get his radiation therapy going, and maybe it's just me. So the radiation therapist, or whatever the guy was, he was like, I'm not treating Franco. Now, if he was like, I didn't want to treat Franco because I felt like my life was in danger, I don't understand how you could sit there and be like, yeah, I want to fire him because he didn't do his job. And he can't decide on who we treat or who we don't treat. You can decide on if you want to be safe or not. I don't know. I just want to throw that question out there. At some point, Liz does confront Britt and is like, so, like, why'd you let my husband's medical records just, why'd you let Peter see it? Because it was leaked through the hospital. And Britt didn't admit that she was the one that did it, but she was like, since I am in charge, it is my fault. And I do apologize and take, responsibility for it. And Liz was like, are you apologizing? Yes, Liz, that's exactly what she just said. What is wrong with you? Now, throughout this whole episode, there's this mystery person. I don't know if it's a woman or a man. I could not tell. And I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I've seen women that have man hands, so I really couldn't tell who it was. But they were writing a letter or something for Peter. And I guess we'll find out at some point in time. What else we got? I feel like I'm missing some stuff, but, okay, let's talk about, we're going to get to the weaker point of this episode, but let's talk about, Nina and Ava and Phyllis. So, originally Nina talked to Phyllis and was like, hey, listen, I got some news that I could have possibly found my daughter. Could you come out here and, I'll fly you here and back or whatever. And Phyllis was like, she can't go. And later on, she changed her mind because she couldn't go because she wanted to watch out for Sonny and make sure Sonny was not, flipping out or making sure he was taking care of his meds. Sonny was like, I'm not gonna be the person that's gonna hold you, you know, back from what you need to do. So she agrees, and she calls Phyllis. She calls Nina back, and you know, she decides to come out there. Of course, we've seen the previews. I don't know how it's gonna go with Sonny and Lenny, because listen, without Phyllis there on a good day, I feel like they would just clash heads or fists. And it doesn't seem like it's going to go well for Lenny and Mike. Okay, I know that's his actual name, but I'm so used to calling him Sonny. Whatever. Ava does talk to Nina, and you know what? Somebody in the comment section was actually, tell you the truth, a couple people in the comment section was right. I think it was J. Sam Carly and somebody else. Nina did start it with the whole, oh, well, you know, Nell was this, and, like, Nina, Ava was like, listen, she started talking, because they were talking about Jackson Carly, and Nell, and Ava was like, you know, I bonded with her originally, you know, we seemed like we hit it off, and, you know, we didn't like Carly and them, so we were cool, until she tried to blackmail me. And Nina has this way of just trying to either talk down about, like, downplay some of the stuff that Nell has done by saying that she's troubled. I was like, trouble doesn't begin to explain why she decided to slash Brooklyn's neck, kill her fiance, nearly kill Michael, and a ton of other things that I know I'm forgetting, but, like, trouble wasn't the word. And every time, you know, Ava had to pretty much kind of remind her, listen, yo, you couldn't have done anything for her. People have tried to love her, and she was broken. And, you know, at first Nina was like, well, you know, if I would just, you know, somebody was just giving her a chance, you know, if I would have got to her and if I would have loved her, I was like, even Ava was like, no, stop. Like, we're not rewriting history, you know? And if Ava isn't there calling Nell out on her BS after the stuff that Ava has done, I mean, hell, she shot Connie, I think, in that exact same room. So if she's calling your daughter out on stuff, you know it's bad. And pretty much towards the end, she just says that, listen, when you talk to Phyllis, listen, just don't set your expectations too high, and just kind of really think about what you want to come out of this meeting. But I did like the fact that Ava was like, listen, you're not going to sit there and rewrite history with Nell, because she was a terrible, terrible person, and nobody was going to help her. So I'm just kind of glad that happened. Carly and Jocelyn seem like to be the weakest of this whole episode. Like, they were talking about, they were at Mike's and Morgan's grave, and, you know, not gonna lie, I kind of, like, I don't want to sit there and say, like, I got bored and just didn't remember some of it, but I know they were talking about Lies and Trina and Nell, and, you know, they were talking about Jackson and Nina, and how they're at odds because of, you know, withholding the truth from Nina about Nell possibly being her daughter. And I'm not gonna lie, it was just boring as hell, because I felt like it didn't really go anywhere. And then they kept talking about Sonny, and I felt like that was the part I was like, ugh, okay, so we're doing this. And by the way, yeah, I think tomorrow's episode we're doing the whole Sonny's funeral. And listen, I'm not gonna lie, I don't like watching the funeral scenes on a good day. Knowing that this character is not dead, I feel like I'm just gonna wind up fast forwarding through most of it, but whatever. Also, by the way, they brung Christina back for like a day, so that's cool. Listen, I like her character sometimes, but when they don't give her something to do, it's just like she's just there to be there. And I'm not a fan of characters just kind of just hanging out for the sake of a check or the sake of a roll call or whatever. But yeah, honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm not gonna lie, Carly and Jocelyn's scenes were literally the weakest part, at least for me, the most boringest part of this episode. Oh, Nina also was like, you know, she wants to be a huge part in Wiley's life. And I don't think they should have too much of an issue with that. You know, she's talking about trying to get a DNA test for Wiley to see if they're related. And again, I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue with that. I don't see it being a problem. You know, Ava was like, well, you know, trying to get a hold of a Corinthos child or whatever is a lot harder than it seems. And I'm like, well, no, that's kind of for you, Ava, because they don't like you. And listen, as much as I like your character, they got good reason for not liking you. Nina is a completely different story, but I feel like, again, and I do agree with a lot of people in the comment section that Nina's going to sit there and continue to kind of like water down a lot of stuff that Nell did because she was never loved and she grew up in a bad environment. As she was saying in this episode, you know, she grew up in a bad environment and people didn't love her and yada yada yada. And I'm like, okay, you know, you didn't exactly grow up in a stable home, and neither did Ava. And granted, she done some terrible stuff, but like, I actually told you if I don't even know where I'm going with that. The point is, yeah, Nell has grown up in a really terrible, you know, she's had a very terrible upbringing. That doesn't give her an excuse to do, you know, to have done what she done, you know. Even after she found out that Carly had no part in taking her kidney or anything like that, like, she still chose to do that stuff. You know, even before meeting Carly, she was a terrible person. So, you know, Nina, her whole upbringing, no, that's not gonna fly with anyone. Surprisingly, there are a group of people, there's a small group of people that will sit there and defend Nell and her actions, and I am not joking. I remember sitting there reading one of the comments, and, one of the clips, and somebody was like, well, it was Carly's fault that Nell died, and Carly was sitting there and playing cops and robbers with her, and it was her fault. And I'm just like, what the hell is wrong with you people? And it was more than one person. I was like, wow. So yeah, you will see those people from time to time. It's kind of creepy. I don't think I'm missing anything. But if I am, write it down in the comment section below. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are on this episode. I can't wait until tomorrow because I get home a little bit earlier. But I'm going to rant for a little bit because why not? So I really enjoyed my time off. And it wasn't just the fact that I wasn't at work. Not that I really hate my job too much. But I really just enjoyed doing videos on YouTube. And I do want to get better at making somewhat of a consistent schedule. But it was nice actually being able to wake up and just watch a show, give my thoughts on it, you know, kind of just, I don't know. Like, I really enjoyed doing this. And when I woke up at 6:30 in the morning, I was like, I really want to make YouTube like my full-time job or my main source of income. So every now and then I will be asking people to share my videos on Instagram, Twitter, whatever you can do to help me, you know, as far as achieving my dream of actually doing this on not just a full-time, more of a full-time level where it's like, because I love doing this. I love doing this in general. This is no paycheck. can't imagine how much I would love doing this, and I'm also getting a paycheck. And I'm always going to sit there and try to strive to work harder as far as doing my reviews, try to be more consistent, try to improve in every way that I can, and always sit there and take criticism, you know, whatever. Because at the end of the day, I enjoy doing this, and I want people to enjoy my videos. So yes, with that being said, I would really appreciate, and if you're doing that, if you are sharing my videos, thank you, because it is helping. And I appreciate that. And I also appreciate people who write in the comment section and people who just watch my videos in general. I want to thank you. Anyway, I feel like this whole speech that I was going to sit there and say sounded a lot better in my head at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So, yeah. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. I will catch everyone in the next review.